Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in, hit the thank you button for the replay squad. Why is Mr. Z adding the thank you button for the replay squad? Well, according to Miss Kim Foster, we're grifters over here, and we're grifting off of bitter, angry black men. So, I mean, if we're grifting, then we're grifting, right? Okay, so let's get into it. We're not gonna pontificate and waste time with the intro too much. Yeah, so we have, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know. First people in, say something in the chat box. Okay. Miss Kim Foster takes shots at Obsidian, right? Does everything but say his name, and goes after Brown Sugar or Queen. I forgot his lady's name, but apparently Kim Foster's seen a picture of her and did some snooping, or at least I guess whoever put the picture out of her spoke about her. I'm not gonna validate the rumors. I don't know if whatever rumors are true, but you know, but somebody tell me Obsidian's lady's online name again, or pseudonym or whatnot. But says she's a calls her a fat black woman with 3 kids, and that's the pretty much the first and last time I'm gonna say that. So and says there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in black people showing up for each other in love and all this other stuff. And first let's actually get this out the way also. So Kim is shining. She's glowing. She's in love, right? Okay, thank you, Big Game. Miss Brown Sugar. Yes, Miss Brown Sugar. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Big Game. And so yeah, Kim is shining. She's glowing. The hair is laid. The makeup's popping, right? And you could, and as I said, you could tell this lady was glowing. You could tell over the past month, and she validates it. She actually says it. Over the past month, there's been so much love in this house, and and like we could tell, Miss Foster, you glowing. You talking shit about black men still. And by the way, we will be using profanity tonight, so keep the kids away or put headphones in their ears. Give them the iPad because we are using profanity tonight. Yeah, we could tell, right, Kim? We could tell. We can tell. You're glowing. We can tell you're in love. You're glow. You didn't have to say you had a man. We could tell because you're glowing. You're glowing. You're glowing in a way a friend couldn't make you glow. You're glowing in a way that your family members couldn't make you glow. That is exclusively a romantic love type of glow, right? So, Kim Foster continues with her elitist crap, speaking how we talk down on college. Mr. Z has been being encouraged to go back to school by everyone in the Black Manosphere. Like almost everyone that comes in contact with Mr. Z either implies, suggests, or just outright say that Mr. Z need to go back to school. Everyone from shout out to the brother Kevin C, shout out to Dr. Thunder, shout out to our new style, shout out to BGS. I mean, yeah, I literally just did a stream last week with Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Right? So maybe we have some people that play down college and university, but we literally have Dr. T. Hassan Johnson over here, y'all. And Dr. Neal and Dr. Dunbar. We got doctors all over the place. Dr. Green Gorilla. We got educated professionals all over the place. We got PhDs, Kim, over around these parts. PhDs that will eat your lunch. And all that feminist theory that you try to throw in our faces, they would take it and throw it back. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to handle what they're saying. But all that sassy, elitist a-hole crap that you've been getting away with and your ideological elders have been getting away with, the problem is, Miss Kim Foster, you've intellectualized misandry, and it's really difficult for you to continue to keep on pushing that now that the men have a microphone. Women like you, Miss Foster, have been used to, black women like you, Miss Foster, have been used to having white racist society give you the microphone to talk crap and to regulate black men for them. Women like you are the colonizing agent of the black community, Miss Foster. Just own it. You did a crappy job at it, by the way. Not just you. You're even younger than me, so I'm talking about your ideological peers. Or, excuse me, your ideological elders. right? And Pensive says, Foster ever allude to you in her responses? Of course, my channel is super tiny. Of course not. Of course not. Right? But she does go at Obsidian and does everything but says his name because she says she doesn't want to validate him or bring him any light. And you could tell he's kind of begging for her to debate him and either go on his platform, and she would never. Lady, your entire chat. She pulls the I only debate my equals. Did you just do the John Henry Clark? Not you, Kim. Not you. Not you, Kim. You, Kim. Miss Foster, you. I only debate my equal. You, Miss Foster. Right. So Kim just gets at Obsidian. She calls us liars. I know you ain't talking about all you do is lie by omission. The Morgan Stanley report, that between 2018 and 2030, some 45% of women are going to be childless and single. Have you ever mentioned that? And what it's going to mean for Black women's life? Because they're saying American women in general. So what do you think that mean for Black American women's life? Have you ever brought that up? Of course not. She speaks about us poorly interpreting data that's, created in colleges and universities. Huh. Ma'am, is it that we poorly interpret the data, or is that we interpret the data correctly? It just sounds as depressing as it actually is, particularly speaking from your ideological side of men ain't ish, and we need to bring back. Ma'am, you said we need to bring back. We don't need these niggas feminism. You said that. Your words. Now, why would a educated, intelligent Black woman who knows that most of Black women actually need Black men, need men, and need Black men specifically, why would you still say we need to bring back, we don't need these niggas feminism? And you acknowledge while you were saying that all the damage is done. Is it because, especially now that you're good, right? Now that you got your man and you got your money, right? Now you can use the rest of other Black women as the weapon to hit everyday Black men against the head, upside the head with, right? Now that you got your man and you got your money, right? See, Kim Foster has no problem watching other Black women have to deal with the consequences of being single for years and maybe even decades on end. She has no problem watching other Black women suffer for her jihad against particularly working class Black men. Right? And somebody throws in her face her some brother, I guess, was in the comments and threw in her face pretty much how she goes at blue collar men or whatnot, and she pretty much said, yeah, like, I don't have a problem with them, but they do show that education mitigates, for a longer lifespan, and healthier lives. Ma'am, don't we got some data that show that actually doesn't apply to Black men though? Yikes. Because a lot of educated Black men got to deal with women like you as their wives and girlfriends. Yikes. See, you said Americans. Kim thinks she's so slick. Kim, Mr. Z will admit you're more educated than me. I didn't get into Harvard. You did. But Mr. Z still has enough life experiences to realize when somebody, like you called us liars, is lying. But what you do is what a lot of people of the XX chromosome do. Y'all lie by omission. And Miss Foster, you said we have poorly interpreted data. The fact that you purposely decide which data you ain't gonna talk about or cite on your channel shows that you're way smarter than maybe some brothers over here would give you credit for. I never underestimate your education or your intelligence, ma'am. That's what makes you so dangerous. Is that you know what not to present. You know what not to say. You know how to imply things and suggest things. Right? That's what makes you so dangerous. Is that you are the new generation, the millennials. I'm a millennial also. You are part of the generation of women that keep other women single and miserable. You literally came out your mouth and said, let's bring back, we don't need these niggas feminism. Madam, I called it from the jump. I'm like, look at Kim shining. Oh, she glowing. Even when somebody asks you, are you getting married to this dude? The way you said no, your no was like, I hope so. Right? Ma'am, ma'am, you're a couple years younger than me. Miss Foster, we know black women like you. You trying to play it close to chest. You don't want to call it. Yeah, you smitten by this dude. You would love to be married to him. I get why you not saying that out loud. Cool. But call a thing a thing. See, they're so used to trying to play like you don't need a man. You don't need one. Ma'am, you're glowing. You glowing. Meanwhile, by the way, you still talking shit about black men though. And the story starts off that the dude that she's with right now, he told her, hey, I know you told me not to, but I checked out a bunch of these Manosphere channels and the way they were talking about you. Bro, let me tell you something. I actually want you to stay with her. Maybe you could tamp down all that misandry over there. All that misandry that she engages in, that she pretends isn't misandry. Right? And all that elitist crap she practices over there. Kim, you're Oprah. Kim, you're Oprah. Without the money. And the status. But you're Oprah, Kim. We know who you are. You're an elitist asshole. Right? And you're sassy. And this is the one thing. I can deal with a lot when it comes to Kim Foster. I know the Kim Fosters. I've worked with Kim Fosters, and I have a couple in my not as immediate family, but as relatives. This is the thing that I think annoys me in particular about Kim Foster. It's not the elitism as much as it is this weird obsession with not wanting to be punished for past transgressions, as if people don't realize that black females that are girls then turn to women and they make mistakes. Kim, we're not talking about the people that genuinely make mistakes. And yes, if the mistake is that egregious, yeah, you should get banned. But no, we're talking about women that sound a lot like you, who make cold, deliberate, calculated decisions that end up biting them in the ass. How much should we ban them? We're not talking about a person that really made a mistake. We're talking about somebody that said, I'm going to go left and continue to go left. I don't care what happens. Oh crap, I went left off of a hill. I went left off of a cliff. A cliff. And now I need a man to save me. I need society to save me. I need American taxpayers to save me. I need the black community to save me. Right? That's what we're speaking about. We're speaking about someone giving you advice saying, hey, don't do that. I'm telling you, it's not gonna work out for you. And then you do it anyway, and it doesn't work out. And now you're demanding, not asking, demanding that those people now show you some grace. And a person that grew up probably with your background, that kind of upper middle class background, really, you do not appreciate how much the rest of the world does not do this for other people, particularly other black people, particularly black men. This is one of those things, Miss Kim, that you pretend like you don't realize. And you know what? Let me take this back. Miss Foster realizes she wants to hoard all of that ability for herself, or maybe for other black women, right? Now let's get into this. We're looking for leaders over here, like how she titled the other one, the Black Manosphere is looking for daddies or whatever. Madam, what do you think you act like for many black women? That's why I tell them to remember you. I tell all these black women to remember y'all names and y'all faces in 20 years when they're single and miserable. I didn't just say single, because I always concede that just because you're single doesn't mean you're miserable. I agree with y'all on that. I agree with other men and other black men on that. Just because you're single doesn't mean you're miserable. I actually agree with that. But let's be honest, a lot of people are putting on in front and like like they're okay being single and they're not. And I remind them, whatever 2, 3 women that listen to me, to remember people like you, Miss Foster. Remember that they listen to you. Remember all your elitist talk. Right? Remember your tonality. Remember your sass. Right? What makes Kim Foster so dangerous is she's going to get to play plausible deniability in the future if people like me don't speak up. That's why I say, in Miss Foster, I'll be honest with you. Um, I saved the video where you said, "Let's bring back no, we don't need these niggas feminism." I saved it, so you could prepare how to mitigate against that. Trust me, you won't. You don't have a way. And that's the bit of me that's arrogant enough to tell you, yeah, you're more educated than me, and you still don't got a way to mitigate against that. It's you said what you said, and you said it how you meant it. Unfortunately, what's the average income or what's the median income for black women? Yeah, they need a man, Miss Kim. But you know what's interesting? Miss Kim also brings up this kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel, right? She keeps on bringing this scraping at the bottom of the barrel, and so when she's referring to Miss Brown Sugar, she's saying like she's pretty much saying it. Miss Brown Sugar scraped at the bottom of the barrel to end up with obsidian, which she refuses to do. She would rather be single. And I'm perfectly okay. And she says other black women would rather be single. I think that's okay. I think that is perfectly okay. I really mean that, by the way. That is perfectly okay. But like I said, just remember Kim Foster's face, everyone. All you black women that try to follow her, and now y'all know she in a relationship and she's glowing. Y'all remember you followed Kim Foster to, first of all, let's bring back we don't need these niggas feminism. Secondly, going at Miss Brown Sugar and pretty much saying she scraped at the bottom of the barrel and now she's in the bed, right? Quite literally within an obsidian, right? Like I said, Miss Foster is dangerous because she's gonna cop pleas in the future. She's gonna play down what she said in the future. Miss Foster is in a supposedly loving relationship right now. Like I said, she's glowing. It's very possible she could be married. She might even reverse and say, you know what? I actually do want kids. I'm gonna have my own kids. And all the other women she led to this point who have been celibate for a decade or two, who don't got no kids, who don't got no man, what are they supposed to do when they've been listening to you for over a decade? Huh? What makes Kim Foster dangerous is she keeps on speaking like she's above it while she's in the muck with the rest of us in this back and forth between black men and black women. Like she's not taking shots. And that is the thing that might aggravate Mr. Z the most. You sneak dissing and taking shots, but then acting like Obsidian is obsessed with you, talking about people that did, I don't know, she did 8 hours or 16-hour live streams, and you're taking shots. It's so, this is like that want to be what, like you really want to be a white woman. Oh, you want to be a white woman, upper middle class white woman so bad. That whole sneak dissing, taking shots, and then being like, he's so obsessed with me. Look, he's doing 16-hour lives or 8-hour lives, and they're taking shots, and they're so obsessed with me over there. You're taking shots, you're sneak dissing, and then when we respond, why are you so obsessed? Right? Miss Foster, if you ain't peep game by the book that Richard Reeves put out, maybe you ain't peep game, and you don't realize why he's taking the tone he's taking. The environment's shifting, ma'am. The society realizes it needs men. Yes, primarily white men, but guess what? That means certain black men too. It can't afford to not have black men in the workforce and men in the workforce. It can't have men fall out of society because they've been doing too much pandering to white women, black women, Latina women, and Asian women like you. Huh. They can't afford to keep on pandering to women like you, Miss Kim, while their sons fall off. While their sons are told to get it how you live. We gotta support the women, but you boys and you men just get it how you live. They can't afford that anymore. Right? You know, I I was contemplating waiting a little bit longer to make this, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I'm just shooting off the hip. I might come back. Just put this in a my forever long list of got to do a part two to this. Um, because you know I really, like I said, consider about doing a doing this a little bit later. Um, kind of putting some points down and getting my thoughts organized. But yeah, no, couldn't do it because I listened to Miss Kim speak, and I'm happy for her that she got to do. I hope it go the distance. I could tell she's happy. You could see she's glowing, but she's still on the elitist a-hole stuff. Number one, right? Number two, Miss Foster, you realize that black men aren't white women, right? You realize black men aren't white men. I know you realize that because you really want to be an upper middle class white woman, but you realize that, right? So all of those kind of stunts that you could pull with them, where you throw rocks at black men and then hide your hand, or you take little shots and then pretend like you don't realize why black men are responding, particularly black men in the black manosphere are responding the way they do. You know you could pull that with white people, but you can't pull that with black people who grew up with black women just like you. Maybe white people will either see what you're doing and give you a pass or don't know what you're doing altogether. But black men, particularly in the black manosphere, who grew up with black women like you, we ain't giving you no passes on sneak dissing and taking shots and then pretending like you don't know why we respond the way we do. And it looks like you get off on doing it. Now that you got a man, why you still getting off on engaging with the black men in the black manosphere? Huh, weird, right? You're taking shots at Obsidian. Now you taking shots at Miss Brown Sugar, saying she looked more like you than Brittany Renner. Okay. Calling her a fat black woman, saying she has 3 kids, cool, right? Not even implying, just straight up saying she scraped the bottom of the barrel to end up with an Obsidian, and that it's sad that Obsidian is going out and embarrassing her. Huh. And this is y'all queen, right? This is y'all queen. Who, okay, she said she would never put out Miss Brown Sugar's pictures, cool. She won't read the comments and all that other stuff. Cool. But don't act like you weren't taking shots. Number one. Could you have been worse? Maybe. But don't act like you weren't taking shots. And when you say to Miss Brown Sugar, essentially, that we have a problem over here in the Black Manosphere, that these women would rather be single than essentially compromise themselves the way Miss Brown Sugar have, right? And this is a middle-aged, and by your own words, middle-aged fat Black woman, and she has a problem with the fact that women like you would rather be single than compromise themselves the way she has. Could we call a thing a thing? Y'all are not okay being single. The Kim Foster before this relationship and the Kim Foster now are two different people. You kept on pretending like you didn't need this, and you could tell the difference between right now, because I called it, in a different Kim Foster months ago. Your rhetoric is still trash, but that energy is different. Huh. Y'all okay with being single? Really, Miss Foster? All the videos that speak about women being celibate, all of them look like they okay being single? That's what you read in those comments? Or are you telling yourself that so you don't feel guilty about your jihad against Black men that's costing your subscribers their happiness, their mental health, their emotional health? You're okay with using them as cannon fodder. Meanwhile, you're about to sell out in the sunset with your man. Right? You are about to sell out in the sunset with your man while you take shots at Black men, particularly working class Black men. Right? Now, Miss Foster speaks as if she has all this integrity in the world and she's not fronting. And the reason why she doesn't hide her face is because she's not fronting. Her sister is real. Her nieces are real. Her loved one that she's with now is real. Her family members are real. Right, etc., etc. Right. Her daddy taught her. Her daddy is supposedly is a Tuskegee graduate. Shout out to that brother. Right. And her dad taught her, getting your education will better the race type talk. And even though he's conservative and you do this work to better Black people, Kim, you did the work. You bettering Black women, or you just preparing them for a life of solitude? A life of loneliness, pretending like they're not lonely, pretending like they're way more stoic than they actually are. Right? You helping Black women? Now, Miss Kim says, kind of New Year's plans for her is to kind of give these kind of, I guess, seminars or lectures or whatever she's doing every month or something like that. Something along those lines, right? There's a real crunch happening. For those of you that see what happened with SBV Bank, I mean SVB, yeah, SBV, because it's the B is the bank, right? And you listen to Miss Foster speak, and even though she supposedly read Of Boys and Men from Richard Reeves, it's like she doesn't really get it, or she gets it, but she's been so thoroughly socialized to like be adversarial towards Black men specifically, she can't really put some of that into practice, right? And side note, it actually coincides with something FD said um on an interview with T Noir, or a conversation he had with T Noir on his side channel, where he spoke of Kevin Samuels passing and knowing that there would be a void there, and so this was the best time to put out kind of that Manosphere content that he put out to kind of pull away some of those men, right? Before they jumped on to the next person. So I guess that would be Andrew Tate or somebody along those lines. And I tie that to Kim Foster to say, I don't think y'all fully appreciate what's going on here, right? I don't think you guys fully appreciate that this is not just a venting session over here in the Black Manosphere. Like, black men are actually talking about things that we want to see done. We're speaking about how black women like Kim Foster, who got into position, use their position to forward concepts like intersectionality, which pretty much just benign neglect black boys and black men, and siphoned all of the resources that your kind white liberals dropped off the table. The ones they flicked off the table, the Kim Fosters of the world, her ideological elders, just vacuumed all of that up for them, and then they let a couple of those crumbs fall off for everyday black women. We speak about things like that, Miss Foster. It's not just a venting fest over here where we just talk crap about black women all day. We talk about what we want to do. We actually do, right? Things we know. And brothers like me on my kind of ideological side of the black manosphere don't even put all the onus on black women. Oh, yeah. We don't even put all the onus on black women. Well, black women like you, yes. But your everyday black women, no. Right? Because we understand what society we live in. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. We actually understand what society we live in. You seem to get it also, but you think what makes millennials better than Xer and boomer black women is y'all can tough it out and be single instead of scraping on your words, scraping on the bottom for a piece of man like obsidian. Madam, we did this, ma'am, you're the one who attended Harvard. Wait a minute. Miss Foster, you are the one who attended Harvard. You ain't doing the social math and see how this is supposed to work for black women? The math don't math with your piece of man talk. They would rather be single than scrape the bottom. That sound nice. Once again, this is a person that grew up upper middle class and really doesn't appreciate their position. They talk like they do sometimes, but they really don't appreciate their position and the fact that they can do this whole waited out thing. They can take shots at black men, earn way more than enough money to be okay being single, and you weren't okay when you were single. As evidenced by the glow right now and the lack of glow in the I'm okay. Ma'am, black men grow up with black women. I say this all the time. Y'all are our sisters and our mothers and our aunts and our grandmothers and our nieces and our daughters, and we know when you lying. You could pull that with the white folks, you can't pull it with the black folks, particularly black men. That whole no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. No, you're not. We would rather be single than be with a piece of man. Meanwhile, that rhetoric just keep on getting more and more ratcheted up. You ratchet that language up more and more as the months turn into years and the years turn into years, more years, right? As the years turn into more years, and you keep on claiming you would rather be single than scrape the bottom of the barrel looking for a piece of man. That rage just ratchets up more and more and more and more. But you okay being single though. And then when you finally in a relationship that looks promising, the glow, but you okay being single instead of finding a piece of man. Because right now you feel like you don't have a piece of man. Right? Let that thing turn left tomorrow. And we will be able to see the difference between the glow right now and the lack of glow then. How Kim, you sound like this now with a man. And by the way, like I said to Paris Milan's husband, shout out to whoever you are, brother. Whoever you are, shout out to you. God bless you. Maybe you have a Kim Foster that we don't have, right? Right? Maybe you dealing with Kim Foster in real life with less sass. That's not an elitist asshole. Well, yeah, no, you probably still got the elitist asshole, Kim Foster, right? That don't be sneak dissing. No, you probably still got the sneak dissing as Kim Foster, right? But maybe there's other aspects about her that you get to witness that we don't, right? But good on you. Shout out to you. Hope y'all make it work. I actually really do hope y'all make it work. But Miss Kim Foster speaks as if it's just rah rah woman hater club over here. I am man, he man, woman hater club, right? That's how she speaks. And I don't know what she thinks she's doing over there that makes her any different than what she thinks we're doing over here, right? I don't know what she thinks she's doing over there that makes her any different than what she thinks we're doing over here. What? Because it has an air of intelligence, education, research. That's what makes what you're doing different, right? So we're not speaking about not deserving. Mr. Z and Mr. Z will straight up say, yeah, you can be an asshole and think you deserve love, Miss Foster. I don't know where I don't know. And yes, you do act like that. Let me say something to that. Because she spoke like nobody's saying that you can be an asshole and then expect the greatest love. Actually, Miss Foster, that is how you speak. That is how you speak. That might come from your upbringing where you think you're supposed to be able to crash your parents' car and they just supposed to laugh it off like ain't nothing happened. By the way, drunk crashing your parents' car, right? That's that weird. I don't know what your, you know, upbringing was like, but that's that you can afford that. You can afford to be an a-hole and then your family members give you a little tap on the wrist and send you on your way. That's not what everybody else gets. Other people got to deal with the consequences of their actions, oftentimes without the guardrails. Black men do, that's for sure. I mean, if y'all not so hyper focused on who we having sex with, then you would see that, because whenever a black man says that, the only thing black women really want to focus on is, well, y'all get to get these women pregnant, and y'all get to have sex with them, and y'all get to break their hearts, and then nobody got to deal with you. Yeah, no. Talk about everything else outside that realm. Right? And even with that, we still got to deal with stuff. Miss Kim, you did a little bit of talking out both sides of your mouth. You can't keep on waging jihad against black men, ma'am, because of who didn't find you attractive in high school. Now you got a man that loves you, apparently. Go ahead and take that and sell out in the sunset. But I suspect you won't, because taking little shots at black men is too lucrative, right? And Miss Foster speaks about, because when the brother brought up her kind of disdain for working class or blue collar men, which, by the way, this is that elitist crap that I speak about all the time. When the brother, whoever he was, excuse me, threw in her face that she spoke about the gap. The I'm not willing to do the work, right? I'm not willing to do the work to close that gap of like valuing education, certain class, and all this other things that she said this before, right? And I respect her. I respect her enough to for her to say, you know what, yeah, I'm just not gonna do that work. And it's working out for her. I mean, she apparently, if she's not if she's not going to be in a relationship with a person that hasn't graduated college or whatever, and she's in a relationship now, then of course we could surmise that this guy is a college graduate, a university graduate, probably um Ivy League, or at least notable school, um you know and he has to be making some type of real money, obviously, because whatever guy she's with, if these are her standards and ideas, then he has to fit them somehow, some way, right? Good for her. Meanwhile, when she's single, we have to deal with the BS rhetoric. Oh, now that she's in a relationship, we got to deal with the BS rhetoric. And then we have to deal with all the women who are who are subscribed to her, who think like her, and we live amongst. All the black women at work right now with their headphones in, listening to Kim Foster and her ilk, but they only make 35 and 40 and $45,000 a year, right? When Miss Foster speaks about Miss Brown Sugar and Obsidian, Obsidian Miss and Miss Brown Sugar, saying that Miss Kim Foster is jealous of Brittany Renner's circle and the men that she can access, and Kim Foster assures us that no, that's not what it is. Miss Foster, you literally brought up the fact that you weren't getting played from the nerdy guys that you felt some type of connection with in high school. excuse me, because they excuse me, because they were supposedly chasing after white women in high school. The white young, well, that would be underage. The white girls in high school. Hmm. So you feel a certain way about that, or at least felt a certain way about that. No, you still feel a certain way about it. That's what's animating a lot of your language or fueling a lot of your language. So you feel a certain way about that, but you don't feel a certain way that Miss Renner has access to a certain type of black man that you may not have the same access to. Now, Miss, what I appreciate about Miss Kim is she says she know where she ranks on the attractiveness index, and for her, it's not about um doing all you can to get the type of men that a Brittany Renner can pull. And I get that, right? Not lying to yourself about how you look and how you show up in the world and the beauty hierarchy and index and where you rank, right? I understand that. I actually appreciate that. I actually appreciate hearing a black woman say that. Unfortunately, pretending like they're not as angry about it, or Kim Foster speaks as if she has come to peace with that, and I don't believe her. I don't. And that's okay. She doesn't need me to. She doesn't need me to believe her. But I don't believe she's actually come to peace with that, because the way she said it and the way she bought it up, yeah, nope. Don't. You need more people. We don't believe you. You've come to terms and peace with how you've shown up on this planet. And I agree with her. You don't have to be a supermodel to, and Mr. ZF said that you don't have to be a supermodel to find love and to have people appreciate you and to have the opposite sex like you and want to be around you. And yeah. And like I said, shout out to Miss Kim Foster's boyfriend, her new man. But as the brother Better You said, some of these people are just insufferable, bro. And every once in a while they win the lottery with the opposite sex, somebody from the opposite sex finding and taking interest in them, right? They win the lottery, and so now they feel validated. Yeah, see, I did it my way, and that's essentially what Kim Foster has been saying, um, pretty much since she's been getting at Brittany Renner over the past couple months. Right? I did it my way, and I'm winning, haha. And Brittany is out here begging these baller dudes to be with them, and she's single and she's a baby mama, ha ha ha. And let's be very clear, Miss Kim, like I said, we're black. We know when somebody's taking shots. We definitely know when a black person's taking shots. And yes, you might be more educated than the rest of us, but you're not that much more educated enough for us to not know that you're taking shots. You talking about the group of people that invented hip hop. We know sneak dissing when we hear it. Right? And that's essentially what Kim did on this with Miss Brown Sugar. I didn't have she said it. I didn't have to scrape the bottom of the barrel. And the problem with women like Miss Brown Sugar is that they have a problem with the fact that the Kim Fosters of the world are okay being single instead of having a piece of man, which is how she was referring to Obsidian. And the Miss Brown Sugars of the world essentially have a problem with Kim Foster not having to be compromised to have a man. Ma'am. These people speak like they're above it, because most of the time people don't call them out about the fact that when they're single and they're acting like they're not miserable, but they are, they ratchet up their rhetoric and they're extreme assholes, and they hide their misandry behind intellectualism and their education. So they speak as if they don't have to come. Ma'am, you're in a relationship now, you a whole asshole. When you were in a relationship, goddamn, right? Ma'am, we got the recordings, ma'am. And by the way, once again, Themis popped up in her comments. So Themis popped up in Yanni's comments. Themis popped up in Kim Foster's comments. Themis don't miss an opportunity to take shots at black men, straight black men. Hmm. Like I said to Yanni, you got to question and right. Crystalline Karazin did a live with Themis. You got to question your ideology when Themis started agreeing with you. When Themis started agreeing with you, and by the way, notice, so Themis is out here in Yanni's comments. I know he listens to Paris. He's with Crystalline Karazin, and he's also with you, Kim Foster. As much as you speak and act as if you and these other content creators are different, right? You're not selling Level Up, right? You're not selling Black Women in Luxury, right? You're not swirling and divesting as the answer. Once again, right? So why would Themis also be subscribed to you and to these others? Oh, because one thing y'all do share is the misandry, right? One thing y'all do share is the anti-black male misandry, if you didn't realize. Why Themis listens to you and Yanni and Paris and Chrissy and Crystalline Karazin, right? And Calvina Man says, what did Themis say? Something like the black manosphere and data doesn't mix like oil and water or something like that, right? And I think he was saying that as a response to Kim Foster saying how we misinterpret data, right? Something along those lines. I might be a little off on that, right? Or at least that the data that we misinterpret is produced in these colleges and universities, which I don't know who said that much of them aren't. Not all, obviously, but much of it isn't. I mean, I don't. Once again, she went off. She went off, and she took shots as she always does. But once again, she's speaking like she's above it, and I think that's maybe what attracts many of her subscribers is that kind of air of superiority. While she claims that she speaks for the everyday black woman, but the everyday black woman can't afford to think like her. Like literally, Kim could have gone on in life single because she earns enough. Her YouTube money affords her that, and whatever other endeavor she has going out there, she earns enough. Now, where would her psychological state be? That's a different conversation. But she earns enough. Your average black woman doesn't. Like Kim, for you to be so studied, you don't realize the folly of the Oprah generation of black feminism, right? The bell hooks, like you don't get the problems with that form of like black feminism. You don't get it because like you're recreating it. We see how much that has devastated Generation X. And I'm not saying Oprah was Generation X, but we see how that brand of feminism has destroyed Generation X men and women, but particularly the women. They're not just single, Miss Foster. Generation X black women aren't just single, they are miserable. And yet you hope to recreate that again for millennial and Generation Z black women? You literally said, let's bring back, we don't need these niggas feminism? How did that work? How is that working for Generation X right now? In younger boomers? How is that brand of feminism working right now? Some of them have names, some of them have position, some of them are doing okay financially. And they're absolutely positively miserable. And you want to bring back this form of feminism or re-emphasize it or reiterate it. Either way. That's why I say you're waging a jihad against working class black men using the sensibilities and the hurt and the pain and the rage and the sadness and the loneliness of everyday working class black women. And you talk a good game, but you don't actually fully appreciate they can't play this game with you. And they could, you, who some of them are living vicariously through, can talk all that piece of man stuff and scraping the bottom of the barrel stuff. But your everyday black woman, even your college educated one, can't live that life you talking. But they're gonna try. And you are going to be nowhere to be found, or your words, let's say you are going to be still on YouTube in 2 decades, your words are going to fall hollow. Your words are going to be hollow, excuse me, and they're going to fall on deaf ears when you're still talking this stuff in 2 decades. If you're still talking this stuff in 2 decades, and these women would have been out here in the real world, borderline destitute for a couple decades. I don't know why we don't think that's possible. Once again, the Morgan Stanley report. Once again, the atomization of society. That's not just black men. That's not just men. That's women also. And that platonic love and your network can only get you so far. And that familial love can only get you so far. As evidenced by Miss Kim Foster and how she's glowing right now. See, a couple weeks ago, I told y'all Kim Foster's glowing with this relationship, and now she just told you, yeah, the love I've experienced, right? I said a couple months ago, no, a couple weeks ago, and now she's telling, yeah, the love I experienced in this home over the past month, Miss Foster, I see it, I see it, I believe you, I see it, right? I could see the glow in you. I know you're happy. I know you're in a right now a loving situation. You still spewing that old timey black feminism though. That old timey black feminism that got a lot of extra women looking real sick right now. A lot of extra black women looking real sick and depressed right now. Well, y'all the ones offing yourselves, and y'all the ones popping antidepressant pills. Right? As I said before, Miss Foster thinks she could take shots, right? Sneak diss, and black men in the black manosphere are not supposed to respond. And then she speaks as if she's above saying Obsidian's name while she takes shots at him over and over again. He's so obsessed. Oh, she wants to be an upper middle class white woman so bad. That sneak dissing and acting like somebody's doing something to you is such a white woman stunt. Upper middle class and rich white woman stunt. He's so obsessed, right? And quite frankly, the shots that she took at Miss Brown Sugar, that to me was the most heinous. And could she have been done worse? Probably if she's talking about she saw the picture of Miss Brown Sugar and Miss Brown Sugar got 3 kids and blah 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 and yada yada. But as I said, what makes Miss Kim Foster so dangerous is the rhetoric that then they don't take ownership of when so many black, because if you think one day one of these black women ain't gonna press Miss Kim Foster on her rhetoric in person, you got another thing coming. One day one of these black women is gonna bring up some obscure thing Kim said one time. One obscure thing, it might be even what I keep on bringing up, the let's bring back we don't need these niggas feminism. They're gonna throw it in her face. The way she speaks, it may be tomorrow, it may be 5 years from now or 10 years from now, 15 years from now, they're gonna throw in Kim Foster's face the way she's speaking now. And I wonder what her response is going to be to that. Because she's speaking like she's above it. And now that she has this dude, she really gonna be speaking like she's above it because she feel like she's winning. Like I told y'all, when I could kind of see that something was there, like she was looking a little happy, right? And what she was essentially telling Brittany Renner is, I'm winning my way, right? I'm not kissing these elite black men who don't deserve an ass. All these basketball players and football players, I'm not kissing their ass. As a matter of fact, I'm taking shots at them. And I still got me a man, and I'm still talking shit about black men. I'm talking shit about black men, especially the black manosphere, while having a black man. Go figure. Right? Like I said, shout out to the brother. If you felt a certain way listening to Obsidian critique Kim Foster, maybe you know a side of Kim Foster that the rest of us don't know. But your lady online, woo! Maybe you need to go back in the archives and see what she was saying. And it's how she tries to obscure her clearly misandrous views behind her intellect and her education. Kim, you've been speaking for a while, Kim. You got content out there, Miss Foster. Maybe that's why you're so obsessed with people showing others grace and not bamming people for everything they say. And I agree with you on that. But you're gonna have to hold this L. Because is it really that you made mistakes, Miss Foster, or that you miscalculated? Right? And that's always my question. No, yeah, we should have draconian concepts and laws towards black women specifically. Yes. Okay, cool. You're right. Especially when they make a minor mistake. But how much of this is mistake and how much of this is miscalculating? I'm going to do what I want to do, how I want to do it. Oops, it's not working. Oh, God, my leg is off. I need tax-paying citizens to save me. I need America to save me. I need black men to save me. I need a black man to save me. Right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And I think I'm gonna come with a part two, a more detailed. I keep on saying this. I am sorry. I still got to do a part two to the Miss and Miss and Mr. LeBeau video, and I didn't realize that Jessica X covered it. And yeah, shout out to Miss Jessica X for coming out of, I guess, semi-retirement, or and covering the LeBeau situation also. I mean, yeah, right. Like I said, it coming to a close. Um, this is me just kind of shooting off the hip. Um, y'all go ahead and tell Obsidian Kim is taking shots again. Um, and now she's taking shots at him and Miss Brown Sugar. Um, yeah. While speaking like she's above it, while speaking like she don't know what he's talking about, while speaking like he don't know, like while speaking like Miss Kim doesn't realize what Miss Brown Sugar is speaking about. Miss Kim, Miss Foster, the way you even went at Brittany Renner reeks of like, why aren't you talking shit about these men the way I am? It looks so promising at one point. Remember, you said that. Your words. Right? Even the way you're going at it now, with that air of I'm winning my way, speaks to something. It speaks to, I get to talk shit about black men under the guise of empowering black women. It's funny that you levied that against black men like you ain't doing that. It's funny you levied that against the Black Manosphere specifically, like that's not what you're doing. Right? I make money off of being the voice for black women, talking crap about black men, particularly the Black Manosphere, and I got a man. And I make money. Right? So I'm winning. And that's what a lot of the glow is. A lot of the glow from Miss Foster is, look at me. I don't gotta be super sexy. I talk crap about black men. I got a boyfriend that loves me. And I'm making money. And I got a nice size subscriber base. And I don't have to make content every other day to make money. Right? Like her words, by the way. She don't gotta be an ambulance chaser on YouTube to make a living off of YouTube. Her words. So that's another reason why she's glowing, because she's winning all the way around in her mind. The fact that she talks shit about black men doesn't conflict with her not having a man. She has a man now. Right? That's like saying I don't want a Ferrari, they're trash, or I have an issue with this brand of Ferrari and you got one though. Right? Hmm. And on that note, I'm gonna close out. I'll come back to you guys maybe a little bit later today, sometime in the afternoon maybe, and we'll try to do a part two. Maybe I'll have a couple of notes written down. I might mix it with conversation about Mr. and Mrs. LeBeau. Um, but yeah, Miss Foster, congratulations to you for your relationship. I can see you're glowing. I can see you're happy. I'm happy for you in that respect. Um, but yeah, you still trash though. I'm sorry. All this talk um about Obsidian, pretending like you don't know why he's speaking about you, trying to play innocent victim, trying to speak like he's obsessed with you, like we're making whole 8-hour streams about you because you ain't talking crap, right? Because you're not taking shots. Like I said, we listen to hip hop and rap music over here. We know a sneak diss when we hear one, right? We know who you're speaking about because we know a sneak diss when we hear one. And so we know you really weren't getting at Obsidian. Let me be very clear before I end out. You weren't getting at Obsidian on that video. You were getting at Miss Brown Sugar. You were trying to shame her for being with Obsidian. You were trying, you might have this situation in your life, whatever that situation is, but why are you with this nigga? Wouldn't you rather be single than be with this nigga? You making us look bad. You making us look desperate. Because us over here, us millennial black women, we learned from y'all. We would rather be single than be with that piece of man, Obsidian, or any man like him. Right? Why are you dealing with that? I know you're better than that. That's what Kim was really getting at. She was really going at Miss Brown Sugar. You're better than him. Why are you over there? And you're educated. And he laughed about embarrassing you in front of your colleagues. Right? Why are you over there? Now I can't promise you that you'll find a man that accepts you in your situation and whatever it is. I can't promise you that. But come and be part of my jihad against black men like Obsidian. And just get comfortable being single. Well, I'm going to be in a relationship and happy though. Right? I'm going to be glowing because I have the type of man that I want. And we don't really know how true that is. But I have a man. I'm in a relationship while I talk shit about black men. I can't promise you that. But being single and being happy being single is so much better than being with Obsidian though, right? And so she was getting at Miss Brown Sugar. She was insulting Miss Brown Sugar on the low. Not really even on the low. Could she have been worse? I will admit. If Kim Foster has access to whatever the hell she thinks she has access to, then yes. Right? But don't act like you're not taking shots when you're taking shots. And using that John Henry Clark quote, oh, corny, especially coming out of your mouth. I only debate my equals, yawn. You didn't even finish the quote. All others I teach. I wonder, teach us what exactly though? Right? And so I'll end it out there, y'all. It's just my little off the hip kind of rant, listening to the Kim Fosters of the world, this elitist crap disguised as wanting to do better and wanting to see better for black women, as if black women and black men are attached by the hip. And Kim keep on pulling this black women doing all the heavy lifting crap. Bruh, if you don't come off of that, I don't know what feminists taught you, what black feminists, bitter, angry black feminists got y'all on this black women doing all the heavy lifting in the black community and black men just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Y'all doing all the heavy lifting. Okay, whatever. And Miss Foster has been speaking like that for a long time. That's not new or recent. Right? She's been speaking like that for a long time. Right. So, I'll pause right here and, you know, y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, so y'all don't sound like Miss Kim Foster speaking to us like we don't know who she is. Sneak dissing like we don't know a sneak diss when we hear one. Acting all innocent. Oh my God, they're so pressed, they're so obsessed with me, and they're doing hour-long streams and about me, and while she takes shots, right? Anyway, on that note, y'all have a great rest day all night. Like I said, I might come to you guys again in the afternoon, um, to kind of wrap this up. Yes, it's that important, because the way she was going at Brown Sugar and almost low key trying to recruit Brown Sugar to her side, but she was going at Miss Brown Sugar and essentially trying to recruit her to her side while also shaming her for being in a relationship with Obsidian and calling Obsidian a piece of man and right. And the Miss Kim Fosters of the world really don't got no answers. Like, they ain't with being with blue collar men. They're they claim to be kind of on the left, but then they do have conservative views on education, formal education. And I'm not against formal ed. Clearly, I want to go back to school. So I'm not against formal education. I'm not against the university system outside of a few things like the Kim Fosters of the world being deans of like social science and shit. That's scary. But so I don't really know who she's speaking about. Maybe there's some brothers on the other side of the conversation that's like anti-formal education, but even in that space, they speak to brothers that have doctorates, right? And like kind of defer to them. So I'm not gonna say that there's no one in the Black Manosphere. Maybe that poo-poos formal education, but I don't know who they are, to be honest. Right? Because we speak positively, excuse me, um about our academics over here. So I don't know who she's speaking about, but okay, I guess. Right? And I'll pause right here. Y'all listen to the playback, man. And shout out to you, Better You. You come in. You're literally about to close out, Better You. And y'all listen to the playback, and I'll come back to you guys in the afternoon, and we'll have that conversation. I know I played this way too early. I was way too early for most of us. And yeah, I got stuff to do. I got to wrap up. And yeah, shout out to you, Miss Foster. I'm happy that you're in this relationship. You're glowing. I called it from however long ago, right? I'm happy for you with that. Um, yeah, and you go ahead and protect your position. I just hope you're prepared for the day that when not even one. I think it's going to be more than one. Miss Foster, I think even your own subscribers in 5, 10 years, when they ain't happy and I think they're going to get at you. And maybe physically, I'm not saying physically, but the world is real, Miss Foster. People feel a certain way when they feel like they've been lied to, when they feel like they've been bamboozled, when they feel like they were a pawn in your game. You might want to be careful. And I see you trying to mitigate a little bit, but no, you be honest. You was a bitter, angry. You're still kind of on the same rhetoric. You were a bitter, angry person when you were single. You still kind of using the same rhetoric. You're hiding your misandry behind intellectualism. All right. Hey, that's why I speak the way I do. I don't poo-poo brothers with heavy-set women, slim women, dark-skinned women, light-skinned women, women with pointy noses, women with big bell pepper noses, women with coarse hair, women with more silky hair. I don't, I know how we got to get it, how we live. When whether you're the one who's educated or she's the one who's educated, or both of you are or both of you aren't, Kim be trying to play both sides of the fence, take shots, but then hide her hand and imply certain things and suggest certain things. I don't do any of that. Right? She speak from both sides of her mouth. Yeah. So I want to continue, but I gotta close out. Y'all have a great rest of y'all morning. Listen to this on a playback. Like, share, subscribe. I guess hit the thank you button at this point because Miss Foster said we grifting over here. So I mean, like, if we're being accused of grifting, then right. Yeah. So as if she's not grifting, but well, maybe it's her true beliefs that black men ain't ish, except for the one or two that are interested in her and the men around her. So I guess it wouldn't be grifting on her part, but yeah, kind of, sort of, because she's using other black women as a pawn in her game. Excuse me. And we'll just pause right there. We'll pause right there. Y'all, like I said, check out other Black Manosphere content. Check out other non-Manosphere content, so y'all don't sound like Miss Kim Foster. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And I will pause right here. And y'all have a great rest of y'all morning. Mr. Z out.